Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Average Movie Review Podcast. I hope you're doing well. I finally got a chance to watch Green Lantern episode 2. Can we just make Kyle Chandler like Hal Jordan for the rest of our lives? Like, why was this casting not done years ago? Because this man is just absolutely incredible. His banter with John, everything he does, from like showing up to the meeting in the episode and then making everything awkward, responding to the sheriff when she says honey, and like all of that, just the little moments, when she says my marriage is suffering, he's like, oh, your marriage is suffering. You don't say. like, everything about this man is just perfect. He's perfect, 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 down to the minute detail. Like, absolutely incredible casting choice there. And then, you you just you just can't go wrong. The show is absolutely phenomenal. And you know what's so crazy is that like the DC shows have been so phenomenal, and like you see the MCU and they've been doing it for longer, and like you're like, you could have just followed this method and maybe your shows would have been just as good. Not to say that the MCU doesn't have bad shows. I mean, or like doesn't have good shows. No, they have phenomenal shows as well. But like so far every DCU film or show has been just out of this world, incredible to say the least. And so this show is just turning out to be even more and more interesting, right? We get our first hint at the Manhunters, um, and we know that one is definitely still alive, and is the greatest threat to the Green Lanterns. Um, we most likely the Manhunter is potentially the wife of Mascon or whatever his name is. Um, I'm assuming that it is. I don't know, to be quite honest. But most likely that's what it's going to turn out to be. We see John going on his little adventure to get the lantern for Hal. I also didn't understand why the suit is separate. I thought the suit was kind of a construct, but I guess they made the suit separate because of the CGI suit. But I always thought the suit kind of was in the ring itself. I never assumed it to be a separate suit, right? I just didn't think that they had to make one, but it was pretty cool to see that. And they fixed the whole green issue that everyone had as per usual, the internet being trolls that they are. So they answered that, and then you had John's little bird construct that followed him all the way through, which was pretty impressive considering he wasn't wearing the ring or anything. And I think that's pretty damn cool. And I think, that is a pretty impossible task to do. This bird must have been a bird that he owned or something of that sort, or a pet or something that he must have owned. He's a child, and I assume his father killed it for sure, 100%, or killed something like it in him, and that's why he held it so close. But he was able to let go of it as well, right? Because he killed it right away as soon as Hal asked him, "What the hell's the bird?" The bird doesn't mean anything to you, but the bird must mean something because you could tell the way he was protecting the bird the entire time. Where the hell's my goddamn bird? Now, some could argue he's protecting it because Hal told them, "Oh god, oh god, I'm so tired today." Hal told him, you gotta protect the bird or you fail." But I don't think that's the case. I think it just, there's more to this bird, and we're probably gonna find out in the next couple of episodes. We get to find out the sheriff is from Gotham, and then there's a mystery benefactor, and she just happens to be from Gotham, and she's the daughter-in-law of the mystery of the Mason family, who has the mystery benefactor. My guess, it could be Bruce Wayne, and Bruce might have sent a spy over. It's potentially possible she might be more than what she is. It would make a little bit more sense. The Gotham drop. We're eventually going to see Gotham soon in Clayface, I believe, and then eventually get to see Batman in The Brave and the Bold whenever that releases in the next couple of years or so. But so far, really good episode. We got our first hint of the main villains, the Manhunters, and then to top it all off, to end this episode, we get to see Sinestro, and Hal meet. Clearly, there's a lot of history there. There's something that happens. My guess is I can't remember Hal's girlfriend because she's not in the show at all. Either Sinestro did something to her or something happened to her. That's my guess, and that's why he hates Sinestro so much. There's obviously a lot of history we already know, like, if you've read the comics and stuff, but like in this case of this per instance, like, I don't know what it could be, but I guess that my assumption would be that, um, you know, they're clearly friends, or they were friends, and there's a lot of history there, right? Because we know that Sinestro was his teacher, turned evil, and then took a coup and all that stuff, and it destroyed Hal. Kind of, he trusted Sinestro so much, and he probably saw Sinestro as a brother, and then his own brother deceived him. So there's a lot of history there, and I'm so excited to explore that in the next episode. I know that episode 3 is going to be freaking amazing. I think it's going to be more story based, and it's probably going to be diving even more deeper into the lore of Hal and seeing where we are with that, and then a little bit of action here and there, and John kind of on Earth trying to figure out what to do next and what's the next point of the plot and stuff like that. But yeah, those are just my assumptions, but I'm excited to see episode 3. Let me know what you guys thought about episode 2. I thought it was actually freaking amazing. The show is, again, it's doing amazing regardless. Like, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to be an amazing show. I can already tell. And Kyle Chandler as Hal, like, he's outshining. I'm sorry, but he's outshining John. He's outshining him by so many different ways. It's crazy, and I am absolutely enjoying it. And I guess technically he should be, because this is, at the end of the day, Hal's kind of story, right? We know Hal dies. Oh, and then another thing was really interesting is, I think what happened was, in the future, so they must have come down to this town, right? They must have come down to this town. They must have done their investigation, and then Hal left. I assume right after the aliens were dead. Future Hal had just left. He didn't bother coming back. And that is why Future Hal sent the message to past Hal to go back there. There must be something there. There's more to this than what we meet the eye. What we know so far is they must have found the Manhunter, and they must have prevented those aliens or whatever from blowing themselves up, because the town is still there. But then also the town did look kind of like desolate and stuff too. So I don't know, maybe. But there was a reason, and I think that's why the future version of him sent it to him, because he must have left without finishing the investigation, and then future Hal, when he died, he realized there's a lot more than meets the eye to this town, and that's why he sent a message back to his past self to send it back, because he said, if you remember in the first episode, the future Hal said, "Oh shit, am I dead?" Right? And there must be something there. I don't know. This is just my potential thing. Um, he doesn't remember John either, so that was a little weird too, kind of. So again, I don't know, but it's potentially, possible, right? Different timeline, different thing. I don't know. It could be potential, but we'll see how it ends up and how that story ends up playing out. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'd love to hear from you guys, and catch me in the next one, guys. Have a wonderful evening.